yearly, people who get SSI, Social Security Income, from the Social Security Administration, they get a letter saying that if you have a bank account that's over $2,000, you have to report it. Or if you get married, you have to report it. Or if you have a side job, you have to report it. And no changes will be done to your account if you report these things. And when a person reports them, let's say I'm single and I meet this lady, she gets SSI and I get SSI, and we decide to get married. And we think, well, no harm is going to happen. What happens? Her check gets cut off. Right now the payment is $841. Her check gets cut off in half, which makes her receive $420.50. And my check gets cut in half, which is $420.50. And we're both forced to live off of one paycheck because we decided to tell the truth to the government. Now, what happens if someone has a side job? It's really not a job, but it's just a side job. He reports to the government he's working. Well, the government wants to know how much he gets paid. And according to how much he gets paid, that part gets cut off from his SSI. Say that I have more than $2,000 in the bank. And I'm happy that I'm saving, so eventually one day I don't have to depend on SSI no more. That's a wrong. You cannot save more than $2,000. You have to report it. Why? Because SSI is after your money. The same thing if a person wins the lottery. So I want you to understand something. The system is rigged so you could stay poor. You cannot prosper in the SSI system. You will always have to be dependent on the government. And people are forced to lie to the government to survive. It's just like in Exodus chapter 1 verse 17. The midwives feared God and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the male children alive. The midwives wanted to spare the Israelite male children, so they had to lie to Pharaoh. And the same thing people are doing to survive in the SSI system. They're not doing the wrong. It's just like if we was living in the time of Nazi and we hid some Jews. If the Nazi would knock on your house and say, is there some Jews here? You will have to lie to save these Jews. It's a lesser sin to lie than to actually die. Or having somebody die because they're going to die. You know they was going to be taken to the camp and they was going to get killed. The same thing happened with Rahab with the two Jewish spies. She hid them and she fibbed, saying they're not here. They were here, but they left. And the same thing the government is making people do, making people lie to survive. They can't prosper in this system. The poor stays poor and the rich becomes richer. And the poor eventually become dependent on the rich, with no hopes of getting prosperous in their future. People are starving because of that. Imagine, how are they going to pay their rent when they're living off of one paycheck for two people? How? How is that? How can they prosper enough to then not need the system and eventually start a business of their own or get up on their feet? No, this system is made to keep you poor. And there are some people that are forced to even break up their marriages so they could survive. And is also a way of keeping control of the people. How many people are supposed to breed? Supposed to mate? Supposed to have children? Anyway, this is my 2 cents for today. I had to re-record it because I kind of stuttered a little bit in the last program and I made a couple mistakes of the things I've said. But I'll see you in the next program where I will talk again what's wrong with America and how we should fix it. And this situation in the government should be fixed. It should be fixed. Anyway. And it's not that hard to fix. Lord bless you, and I'll talk to you in the next program. Bye. Mr. Kakoulides speaks his mind.